not here talking about precocious puberty. And they also didn't give you testosterone for precocious puberty, did they?
No, because that's not.
It's not how you treat it.
I'm
That's
talking
not how
about
you treat it.
I'm talking about kids who identify as trans. I'm not talking about kids with precocious puberty. We shouldn't be transitioning
Make your
children.
sign. Make
make your sign like
more
more specific.
Yeah, more
You're literally
specific.
the only person out of about 8,000 conversations I've had that's had a problem with this. So.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because
But
they definitely didn't.
But I'm
have
sensing
a
you don't really want
problem
to
with
have a
it.
good faith conversation here today, so there's probably not much point.
Yeah, but you're out here trying.
Can you
to
argue your point about me?
Yeah,
Like,
I'd be
yeah.
really interested to hear it because like I'm not from here. Like
Oh yeah,
I'd like to
fair
know
enough,
what the debate
fair
is.
enough.
Are you
So-
with him?
It's for him.
He's just doing some photography.
But are you with him?
Oh.
Are you hired by him?
Yes.
Oh, cool! Oh, this is great! So then you can like upload me to a site, and then you can have like other people who will like be in the comment section saying that I have short hair, and that they can like call me some slurs.
No,
Oh, that's lovely.
that's quite the exact opposite.
Hi.
You know, my whole message is that there's no right way to be a boy or girl, and if a girl wants to have short hair, if she hates wearing dresses, if she likes climbing trees and playing in the dirt and throwing around football and wants to be an engineer when she grows up, guess what? It doesn't make her any less of a
That's
girl.
fine.
She's
But like
100%
that's
girl.
also like not the reason why people realize they're trans.
Have you,
my guy.
have you read the Genderbread Person, for example? Have you ever seen that?
What is that?
Okay, so this is the most used resource all around the world. It's used in schools. It's even used in children's hospitals to teach the staff about gender identity. And it defines right on there, and this is the same with all these different materials. It defines your gender identity as being based on your personality, your jobs, your hobbies, your likes and dislikes, your roles in society, and your expectations, like expectations upon you. So what does a job have to do with your gender?
The fact that this is the first time I've heard this, honestly, is like very weird.
It's the most used resource all around the world, so
All around the world.
yeah, it is. I tweeted
That's
out some
a
videos.
big claim.
So, okay, I'll,
That's a very big claim.
if you want, I can show you even some videos that Boston Children's Hospital just produced. I recorded them all before they deleted them because they got such a backlash when people saw what they were advocating for.
Oh, so if I went in like the Wayback Machine, I'd find you.
I don't think so. I don't think that works.
Well, that's not. That is absolutely how it works.
You won't find
That
them.
is absolutely how it
Well,
works.
go get them, or I can send them to you because I
well,
recorded them all.
No,
But we have
see,
this-
Oh, you can send them to me. I'm sure you can make whatever video you want.
No,
but
these
if
are-
it does not turn up in the web archive, yeah, I'm going to be suspicious because that's like how the internet works.
I tell you what, when you leave this conversation, just Google Boston Children's Hospital videos, and you'll find them. This made news all around the country. But this doctor,
Look, we're here to see the Lincoln
the
Memorial.
doctor at Boston
but,
Children's
you know,
Hospital, in defining what gender identity is, talks about how kids seemingly know from the womb that they are transgender, and it's things like trying to pee standing up for like a little toddler girl.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Or if a little boy doesn't want to get
it.
it,
When you live
hold
in
on.
a society.
If a little boy doesn't want to get a
There, let me
haircut, she says that's a sign of being transgender. She literally says, and this is one of the top experts in the world, working at the #1 ranked children's hospital in the United States of America. She literally says that if a child plays with opposite gender toys, that's a sign that they're transgender. So if a boy is playing with dolls because he's got a little sister or whatever, does that mean he's transgender? And we should start calling him a girl and referring to him by she, her pronouns just because of toys that he's playing with? Do you think that makes any sense? Or do you think that's a regressive, sexist, stereotypical thing to do?
Why would you call any child something that they didn't want to be called? I
think
think
an
there is
18
I think there is a difference.
Do you think an 18-month-old can decide what gender identity they are?
But you don't prescribe puberty blockers at 18 months.
Correct.
That's a ridiculous
I
thing.
didn't say we did.
Nobody does that.
No, but they're starting social transition of these kids sometimes even when they're toddlers, 3-4 years old. Do you think that's appropriate just because they're exhibiting some gender
Okay,
non-conforming behavior?
what even is social transition at that age? Can you
new name.
explain what that? Okay, so
It's a
you
new
call
name
someone
and
by
it's
a
new
different
pronoun.
name. So, and if they don't want it, you can change them back. Like, don't act like having a different name or a different pronoun is something that, like, once you change it, you can never look back.
So
That's absurd.
do you think a 5-year-old who's being affirmed by his parents, all of society, all of school, is going to wake up one day and say, actually, Mom, you know what? I reject these thousands of people all throughout my life who are telling me that I'm really a girl, and I'm going to decide that I'm a boy? Do you think a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old can decide to do that?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think that happens?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
people that have done
Okay.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And do you think it's okay to give a chemical castration drug to 10-year-olds for years?
I would have loved it.
Okay, but do you think we should be stopping puberty in healthy children who don't have precocious puberty?
Okay, I'm sorry, but like one of the terminologies I think that's happening here that's a little bit of a mix-up. Precocious puberty is a condition that, you know, can happen for a variety of reasons, some of which we don't know why it's happening more and more now than it used to. The science is not conclusive on that.
Precocious
But
puberty is
it is
defined
not
as a
like-
girl
yes.
under 8 years of age going into puberty.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So it's very,
okay,
it's,
you do.
this
Okay,
is a
you do
measurable
not
thing.
have to explain what that is to me.
Right.
The thing is, you're talking about that as like that means you're unhealthy. Now that is another thing that is up for
No,
debate.
I'm not even saying that.
No,
You
And I-
literally used that
no,
word.
you literally
You did.
No,
used
I'm
the
saying
word
we shouldn't be
unhealthy.
giving-
No, you used
I
the
said
word
we should not be giving
unhealthy.
puberty blockers.
You used
perfectly
the word
healthy
unhealthy
children. No, I didn't.
to describe people with precocious puberty,
No, I didn't.
and healthy to people who may be trans but do not have precocious puberty.
I didn't use
That
the word
is how
unhealthy.
that is how words work, honey.
Anyway, I didn't use that word, but what I'm talking about is children who don't have precocious puberty. They're 10, 11, 12 years old, going into puberty at a normal age, and they're now being given a drug which has never been approved for this purpose. It was approved by the FDA for precocious puberty. It was also
But like,
approved.
what's the difference?
Do I get to finish the statement? Do you want to talk or no?
I mean, you can say whatever you want. You've been here much longer than me,
Do you believe in evolution?
obviously.
Okay, me
I mean,
too.
like, do I look like someone who doesn't believe in evolution?
No.
Like, let's be real.
I'm assuming you believe in evolution. So are you telling me that a billion years of the process of natural selection has failed? For the first time in human history, we've been on this planet maybe 300,000 years or so.
There are
But we've evolved,
literally
hold
fish
on,
that
we've evolved
change
over about a
gender
billion
in
years.
order to mate.
I'd like to...
Nature is weird as shit.
I got news for
Sarah,
you
that
though.
is me.
Human beings are not clownfish, right? We don't change
So?
sex because we're not clownfish. But do you think a billion years of natural selection has failed? And for the first time in human history,
Yes.
we need a pharmaceutical company to help children to be who they really are?
I think that natural selection has failed because we have to be having a debate like this rather than letting families with their children consult medical professionals. Who are you?
Medical professionals who say that toys determine your gender identity.
They don't.
They do.
I do not know where you're getting this information from.
I'll send you.
You're
wanna
coming.
see the video right now?
I'll send you. No, I'm not. So first of all, I'm definitely not giving you my
Here.
number.
No, I'll send it right here. I've got it on my phone right here. Come here.
No, I'm not going to see your silly little edited videos
It's
that
not
you
edited.
claim that somebody else made, but will mysteriously not show up in the Wayback Machine. Like, come on, I was not born
Sarah, come
got-
on, give it the benefit of the
yesterday.
doubt. Like,
I've
let's
got-
see
No,
videos.
I wasn't
I've got
born yesterday.
45
Come
minutes
on,
of
we're-
consecutive videos
No,
from
hold
Boston
on.
Children's Hospital. If you want to see
Nah.
them.
I'm just really
You're
interested
like
to know,
hedging around the moment I'm trying to find
Here, I'm
proof
bringing it up
that they
for you.
actually were tweeted.
Know that they are transgender the moment that they have any ability to express themselves, and parents will often tell us this. We have parents who tell us that their kids they knew from the minute they were born.
Who is she?
And
What's her
actions
degree?
Like refusing
The doctor at Boston
to
Children's
get a
Hospital
haircut
medical-
or standing to urinate, or trying to stand to
I
urinate, refusing to stand to
know if
urinate.
that's I don't know if that's true.
Her name's
It's certainly
Dr.
not
Francis
labeled.
Grimsgad. I can remind you to show it to you.
Opposite gender toys.
Opposite
Things
gender
like
toys.
that. There is more and more
It's like,
adolescents that we are seeing.
why do you think they associate such a opposite gender
So
quote
what we're
unquote
seeing
roles?
from them is that
I think one of the problems
they
here is that we're kind of looking at these things backwards. You know, we live in a society. You know, that's just a fact. I know it's like a cliche, we live in a society. But yeah, young children at extremely young ages internalize societal expectations of what it means to be a certain gender. I mean, you can attempt to try and isolate them from that. It doesn't work.
Okay, I have a question for you.
So when they're trying to figure out how to get people to treat them as who they are,
What does that mean?
they're not stupid.
What does it mean
They're
who they are?
going to figure out
But what does that
that,
mean? What does it mean for a girl to be a boy?
look, gender is a social construct, honey.
But can you? So what does it mean though?
Oh,
for a
but
girl to be a boy?
look, he's doing the thing. He's doing the thing.
No, I
Where
just
he's like,
wanna know.
define gender. I know. You want to know. You
But
want to know.
But if,
this is
if
not
you're
a
going to tell me
question
something
of
exists,
philosophy.
you should be able to define it, shouldn't you?
No, the point is that
So if
putting-
it's not toys that make a girl into a boy, what is it?
What do you think it is?
Yeah, what do you think it is?
Well, the whole thing concept. A girl's a girl no matter what. Obviously. the way a girl feels.
But that's not a definition.
If she's gender non-conforming,
What's the definition then?
But how do you decide the first way she should go?
girl.
Yeah. You just said not a
female.
boy. No, but that's a synonym, not a definition.
Yeah, that's not even.
So a female, an adult human female, is someone. Here's the deal: a female is someone who does, or did, or would, if not for some genetic abnormality, produce eggs. They produce large gametes. Males produce small gametes. We produce sperm. Females produce eggs.
Well, it's a little
This
more
is how
complicated than
mammalian
that.
species work. No, it's not more complicated than that.
Well, actually,
There's
no.
such a thing
My
as
cousin
sex.
studies genetics, and it turns out that when you actually like sit down and you're looking chromosomally rather than hormonally, a whole bunch of people in this room are actually don't have the chromosomes that they think they do.
So you're
It's
talking
something
about
that they
people
actually, like-
with what are called disorders of sexual development, or they say intersex.
Well, actually, not.
and we're talking about
It's actually
0.02%
not-
of the population.
No.
Even among that 0.02%,
No, you're talking about
there's almost
something
never
different.
ambiguity in genitalia. So
No,
anyone
you
who
are
has a
literally
Y,
talking about something
anyone who has a
different.
Y in their chromosomal structure is male.
But that's not true.
No, it's literally not true.
There's no such thing as someone who's not male or female. Even people with these intersex conditions are all male or female.
So you're saying that even intersex are male or female?
Correct.
Right.
Based on what?
Yeah.
Based on the gametes that they produce.
No, but I mean, gender is complicated.
You can even do genetic
Gametes,
tests.
Hormones.
Gender
genetic
gender
tests,
really
those are
doesn't
all
exist.
complicated. So, like, what does
We've
it
used
matter?
gender as a synonym for sex forever, since the 50s. We never used gender as a term like we do today until 1955.
A child that starts puberty at 16 is still considered healthy. You know, I mean, it's just, if we're circling back to this idea, if gender is truly not real, and all we are just people with different bodies, why are we assigning morality to wanting to change your bodies? I could go into a clinic somewhere and schedule a boob job, and that is technically gender-affirming surgery. I would want to look more womanly than I do. Like, look at me. I
How
don't.
old
I
are
get
you?
it.
You're okay. So you're an adult.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. And I hope you do whatever you want. I hope you're super happy.
But the thing is,
Do you think a 12-year-old can consent to this? Do you think they know what they're signing up for? And don't tell me they're not doing this on 12-year-olds, because I know they are, and I have
Okay,
video.
they are not giving boob jobs to 12-year-olds, hon.
At Kaiser Permanente in Oakland, California, Kellen Lackhart, who is the psychiatrist at the gender clinic there, is on camera admitting to doing a double mastectomy on a 12-year-old girl. They also admit to doing castrations on 16-year-old boys.
That's actually, like, not true, hon.
So I want you to go Google someone, her name is Chloe Cole. When she was 15 at this same gender clinic in Oakland, California, she had a double mastectomy. When she went to her pre-surgical appointment, there were about 12 other kids there, many of whom were younger than her. So I don't blame you for not believing this is happening, because quite frankly, it is unbelievable.
Yeah,
so
it is
I'm with you.
unbelievable because it is literally fiction.
Well, I don't blame you for thinking that.
Oh, I mean, look, you feel really strongly, you've got your little signs. It's just not based on scientific fact.
The World Professional Association for Transgender Health is this body who write what is called the standards of care, which gender clinics can follow. Sometimes they don't, they ignore them. But the recommendations from WMAP are for girls as young as 15 to get their breasts cut off. And these kids are going on the opposite sex's hormones when they're as young as 13 years old. It's causing irreversible damage after 4 or 5 years.
Do you realize, like, in actual reality, like, look, my friends in high school, I had a bunch who were trans. The amount of struggle that they had to go through in order to even have a doctor take them seriously, let alone give them anything like puberty blockers or, I mean, access to top surgery. First of all, top surgery is expensive. It is so, like, people are worried about paying for their kids' college. They're not. Come on now.
Yeah, there's 42.
You know, it's just like
there's
this
42,000
idea that
girls.
people are like popping out these like estrogen pills like candy or whatever is just so outside the regular experience of trans teenagers. It's just absolutely unreal.
Okay, so look
Like,
up.
no.
You can Google the name Kat Kattinson when you go home. This is
Well,
a woman who got her
honestly-
prescription for testosterone over the phone in a telehealth appointment. You can walk into Planned Parenthood right now, and in one half-an-hour appointment, you're going to walk out with your prescription for testosterone. They're not doing any checks into the mental health of these people. They're not looking into underlying comorbidities. Do you know that more than half of these children are on the autism spectrum?
Yes, so am I. What's the problem with that? What's the
So
problem?
are you not concerned that half of the children who are now getting sterilized are on the autism spectrum? Don't you think maybe we should have some sort of explanation for that and maybe slow down the process? Because there aren't all these safeguards anymore. The practice today is
No,
different
there
than it was.
definitely are.
The practice
Varies
today,
by region.
what they
you know,
practice
it's
today is
just-
called gender affirming care or affirmation only. So you have these endocrinologists with 12 years of post-secondary education who a young girl will come into their office. She'll say she's really a boy, and they'll just affirm her. What's the point of getting all this schooling when all they do is affirm a 10-year-old? Do we affirm anorexia? Do we tell an anorexic girl that she's fat, she needs to get liposuction? Of course not. But we affirm this. This is the only condition in the world where we accept a child's self-diagnosis and we start them on this medical pathway that's leading to irreversible harm, infertility, hysterectomy.
Bringing anorexia into this?
Well, sure, why not?
Do you realize how deadly anorexia is?
I do, and guess what? When an anorexic girl says she's suicidal, we don't just say, okay, let's give you liposuction, but we do that with gender dysphoria. We help them. We get to the underlying conditions that are causing this suicidal ideation to begin in the first place. But with this, we just say, oh, all these other comorbidities, you're cutting, you have an eating disorder, you're depressed, you're anxious, whatever,
Yeah,
it must all be due to because of
I
your
wonder
gender.
why they feel that way. It's such a mystery. Like maybe you've got like assholes telling them that there's something wrong with the way they're just trying to get people to be like take them seriously. Like come on now.
I'm saying that there's no right way to be a girl or a boy, that they're beautiful just as they are, no matter how gender nonconforming they are, and that we should let them grow up. And if they're an adult and they want to make these decisions about their bodies, that's for an adult to decide. No 10-year-old who still believes that the tooth fairy flies into the room and drops $2
Okay,
under their pillow.
absolutely no.
can
No
consent
10-year-old
to
still
getting puberty
believes in the
blockers.
tooth fairy. Come
Mine
on
does.
now. That's cute, but you should
just
actually
lost
be
a molar.
parenting her better then.
Well,
Like, no
I think it's
offense,
beautiful.
but like that's actually too old to believe in the tooth fairy.
Okay, well, we have different parenting strategies
It's
there, I
just like
guess.
no, but it's just
But if your child came out and said, Dad, I don't think you're my child.
yeah. What would you do?
I'd say you're a girl. Because it's completely nonsensical and insane.
Science will support it, right? The science, the Y chromosome. If you're born with the Y chromosome, you're what?
You're a man.
If you're
You're a
born
boy.
with two X chromosomes, you're what?
You're a girl.
Right. That,
How old
now,
are you?
your argument, if I go and get boob jobs, then I should be assigned what I want. Okay, I want to get younger. So if I go in and say I need to dye my hair,
Go for
does
it,
that
man.
mean-
Time is
no. Listen to your argument. If I dye my hair, does that mean that I have now become younger? Everybody should say I'm younger now. No, I'm still chronologically the age that I am.
Wait,
just
wait,
like
wait, wait.
when you're
You
born.
can't identify as a 20-year-old?
No,
Why
because
not?
because chronologically I'm not a 20-year-old.
Oh.
Just as someone who is not born with that Y chromosome.
So you're saying there's such a thing as objective truth?
Exactly.
Wow, novel concept.
I'm with you.
Right.
Right.
This whole identify as thing is complete and utter
Ridiculous.
nonsense.
Yes. As an educator,
This is like a cult
It's
that has
ridiculous.
permeated all of our society and captured the minds of our young people.
and
Because
you
we're teaching it to them as though it's scientific fact. But the whole thing is ideology pushed by activists.
and you also argued your point that anorexia. You argue your point that anorexia is dangerous. Well, guess what? If you say let's get rid of all of the gender identities, right, and say everybody who wants to be a girl, be a girl. So everybody decides
Why
to
are
be a girl.
you threatened by that? Is my
Because
question.
it changes the makeup of humanity because you won't have any
I
more
mean, like,
children.
no offense, but like, have you seen Humanity, first of all?
Yes, I'm
Like-
a human, obviously. But you arguing with this gentleman is ridiculous. Your argument is ridiculous, ma'am. I'm sorry. You sound very articulate, but that doesn't mean you're right. It sounds retarded, if you really want to know. I'm just saying, so don't get mad. It's just the way it
No,
is.
it's okay.
This is
I haven't
accurate.
been called a slur in years.
I'm not calling you a slur. I said it sounds
I am an
retarded.
autistic girl.
I'm
who
saying
you
it
call
sounds retarded. It sounds.
Now that you're using slurs, I'm going to exit this conversation. It was lovely talking to you, but I have self-respect. Let's go see them.
Take care.
Kids get better mobile.
Sorry that you had to deal with that, sir. I mean, you
I
have
do
a
this
right.
for a living. It's all good.
You have